Okay, so you're someone who wants to get right to the point. Yeah, understand things deeply, but, without getting bogged down.
Exactly. Cut through the noise.
That's what we're doing today. We've got some really interesting stuff here. Transcripts from Andrew A.J. Johnson on YouTube.
Wait.
And we're going to do a deep dive into how this one artist is using generative AI with their music. And it's leading to some, well, surprising discoveries about their own sound.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So our mission really is to unpack that journey, self-discovery, but through this new tech lens.
Absolutely. Looking at how the tech isn't just tech, but it's actually like revealing something deeper about the artist, something that's been brewing for years.
15 years, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. So about what, 5 or 6 months back, this artist, AJ, starts playing around with AI, remixing their own stuff.
And this is key. It's their stuff. They composed it, wrote it, sang it, played it all originally.
Everything. Vocals, lyrics, instruments, the whole deal. So the AI is kind of giving the original vocals a facelift and building this new contemporary backing track around them.
So the foundation is solid. It's all AJ. The AI isn't just making stuff up from scratch. It's working with the original vision.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Through doing this, AJ starts hearing this distinct AJ sound.
Yeah.
Something they feel has taken, like you said, maybe 15 years to really develop. And they even say it's kind of hard to describe in words.
Which makes sense. Often that unique artistic fingerprint, it's more of a feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
A certain blend that just resonates.
Totally. And to help us get it, they use some great analogies, like ABBA. You got Agnetha and Frida, amazing singers.
Right.
But the ABBA sound, that's their voices, plus Bjorn and Benny's writing and arranging. That whole package.
Exactly. That specific synergy, you hear it, you instantly know it's ABBA. It's way more than just adding up the individual talents.
So that's a big takeaway. Maybe this unique sound often comes from how things combine, not just one person's skill.
Definitely. It's that blend.
Then they mentioned the Carpenters, how their sound really clicked around 1970, Close to You era.
Oh, yeah. Richard and Karen. His arrangements, her voice.
Yeah.
Unmistakable.
That tight harmony, Karen's voice, it's like a sonic fingerprint, you said it. Instant recognition.
That's the hallmark of a defined sound.
And Queen, obviously Freddie Mercury, massive presence. But AJ makes the point that the sound of Queen was all four of them together.
Yeah, you needed Brian May's guitar, Deacon's bass, Roger Taylor's drums, and Freddie's vocals soaring over it all, that whole tapestry.
Each part was essential. And then Michael Jackson, too. That wall of sound thing, especially on, like, Bad and Dangerous.
His voice, Quincy Jones' production back then, those specific rhythms, it just created this huge, iconic sound. Instantly MJ.
So AJ figures their own sound. This AJ sound, it's been shaped by, well, all sorts of things. The tech they had over the years, timing, their own age, life stuff, maybe people they worked with.
And all those things are crucial, aren't they? Tech opens doors, timing reflects the culture, personal stuff adds emotional weight, collaborators bring new angles. It all goes into the mix.
What I also found fascinating was how AJ sees the AI itself, not as like a replacement,
No.
but more like a collaborator.
Yeah.
Or a support system for their art.
That's a really important perspective shift, I think. Not seeing AI as this big, scary threat, but as a tool, something to explore with.
And practically speaking, they mention how it helps get around the money issue. Hiring producers for remixes costs a lot.
Oh, for sure. Especially for independent artists.
So AI makes that kind of experimentation way more accessible.
It's democratizing, in a way. Lets artists try things that just weren't feasible before, budget-wise.
Plus, unlike maybe a human producer who'd have opinions or questions.
Right, who might push back or want changes.
The AI doesn't judge. It doesn't question the original vision. It's just there to, as AJ puts it, lift the art.
And that could be really freeing for an artist, can't it? Exploring without feeling like you constantly have to explain or defend your choices.
Yeah, and apparently it's working out pretty well so far. AJ's noticed a big jump in views on these AI remixes compared to older stuff.
Wow.
And they said it was with minimal work, which is interesting.
That kind of immediate positive feedback, especially after years of creating, that must be incredibly motivating.
Seems like it. There's this renewed excitement. AJ calls it an important discovery hearing this consistent AJ sound, maybe going back as far as 2009.
Even as their skills changed over time.
Right. Even as they got better technically, this core thing was still there. So this AI remix experiment turned into this whole self-discovery thing.
It's like the AI stripped away some layers, maybe? the evolving production techniques,
Hmm.
and helped reveal that underlying musical DNA.
Yeah, exactly. They mentioned specific tracks, the We Only Happen at Night remix, the Others remix, You'll Make Me Feel So Small. Examples where this consistent sound really came through in a new way.
So with We Only Happen at Night, for instance, maybe the new AI arrangement just highlighted certain vocal melodies or rhythms that were always there, but maybe buried a bit in the original.
Could be the new context making those core bits pop.
Mm.
And this leads to what AJ calls the spirit of AJ. You know, that hard to describe thing, the emotional core, like when music gives you chills.
These thoughts, yeah.
AJ feels that AI actually helped reveal that in their own work.
That spirit, that emotional connection,
Hmm.
that's what really matters in art, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beyond just the technical skill, it's that resonance.
Looking bigger picture, AJ credits lots of things for this whole journey. The listeners, social media, their own background in acting, media studies, and obviously the AI tech.
It shows how everything connects for an artist, right? Their history, the tools they have, how people engage with the work,
Yeah.
it all feeds into their growth.
They even hope maybe their story inspires other people, to chase their own creative things. And they touched on music being potentially healing, good for the mind.
Which is a great point. The positive side of creativity for individuals and maybe even society.
But even with all this positive stuff, AJ is still being careful about AI going forward.
Understandably.
Doesn't want it to go somewhere scary or lose that artistic core, the authenticity.
Yeah, that makes sense. What would be those scary places, do you think? Maybe losing that personal touch.
Could be. Or maybe the tech starts driving the decisions instead of serving the artist's vision.
Right. Or questions about originality start popping up. Is it really their work if the AI did so much? That kind of thing. Authenticity concerns.
So they're being really selective, like just one AI remix per song for the specific playlist, and careful about the messaging, especially any visuals like dancing that go with them.
It's a very deliberate, thoughtful approach. It shows they're prioritizing the music's integrity
Yeah.
over just, churning out content.
AJ even mentioned it brought up some deep, almost existential questions,
Right.
like what's their role as an artist now? If AI can generate stuff, are they becoming automated in a way?
Wow. Yeah, those are huge questions, and probably ones a lot of creatives are starting to wrestle with. It forces a rethink of what being an artist even means when tech can mimic creativity so well.
But ultimately, the goal for AJ is to stay in control of the story, keep the music tied to that retro soul foundation, that human element.
And that grounding seems essential. Having that core identity gives you an anchor when you're navigating these powerful new tools.
So wrapping it up, what we've seen is this artist, AJ, kind of stumbled into a major realization about their own sound through these AI remixes.
Yeah, sound that was there all along for like 15 years, but maybe wasn't fully heard until now.
Right. And we've looked at that whole evolving dynamic between the artist and the tech and these really complex questions it brings up about, creativity, identity.
And I think the real aha moment here is how AI, which often gets framed as a replacement.
Yeah, the scary robot takeover.
Right. It can actually be a tool for understanding yourself better as an artist, for validation even.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How could these new technologies, AI or whatever comes next, help you see your own work differently? Or your passions, maybe even just yourself? What hidden things might pop out with a new lens?
Definitely food for thought.